Good. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm closing this. I think everybody's here. I think nobody's left in the
Yeah, but still close the waiting room or breakout room so that we know that
close
everybody
the
is
waiting
here.
room. Everybody can join in and out.
How have you organised this? This is amazing.
Brilliant.
Weeks of planning and we still got the time difference wrong.
Yes, yeah. I was all ready for 10:30. Then I peaked at 10:30, and then I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? I thought I'd have a quick nap, and I thought, no, don't do that because I'll sleep, and it'll be 4 in the afternoon, and my phone will be ringing. Hello.
Yeah. So I would have called you.
I know. Don't worry, I would never let you down.
Right. So over to you guys.
So before we start, Surabhi, just check the waiting room so that we don't have any disturbance
We
once
have
we start.
disabled the waiting room. Anybody can
brilliant.
join in and leave. So it's all yours. I want to focus as well. The spotlight is on.
No problem. So let's let the show begin and let's have fun. And, we will have a lot of fun. So do you keep scrolling through your LinkedIn feed? If your answer is yes, just show your reaction as thumbs up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, the second question is, again, fastest finger first, and whoever gives the answer wins a gift. So be ready with your button. Yes, Angus. So what do you do after connecting with someone on LinkedIn? Type your answers in the chat box. What do you do after connecting with someone on LinkedIn? Sales pitch, presentation, blog, article, video. What do you do? Quick, quick, quick. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sleepy heads, wake up. We have 44 people in the room. The messages are coming slow. Quick, 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 quick. Awesome.
I'm going back at school.
Yes, 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 yes. Brilliant. So now let's officially welcome our celebrity speaker for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Angus. Now, Angus helps people and individuals to magnetize their profile. So he is actually the LinkedIn unlocker, which means he has got the master key, but don't worry, he's not the hacker. He's not going to hack your profile. He will help you to unlock your LinkedIn profile. As you can see on his screen, there's something written as leads, which is nothing but LinkedIn expert advice, direction and support. So if you want an expertise, you want an advice, you want to know which direction to go, and you need support, the man on the screen will help you to do that. Over to you, Angus. Enjoy.
Thank you very, very much for that, sort of introduction. And thank you so much for inviting me. I have been beyond excitement all week. I really have. I've been like a 9-year-old waiting for Christmas, but this is wonderful. So thank you so much. I want to talk really about, I want to explain as I go through what LinkedIn unlocking is. I don't want to give a potted history because we'll be here until Tuesday, because nothing I do is short. But I'll drop into, sort of what I do and how I do it. Essentially, LinkedIn is a business critical platform. Okay. I think that anyone that denies that now is as bad as somebody that says that COVID isn't happening. But, as we know, we're in a different world. There was 2020 BC before Corona. And basically what happened then is people did business face to face. 2020 AD after Corona, after sort of disruption, we're now online. So even more importantly, LinkedIn is a source of not only friendship, but it's also a source of business intelligence, business opportunity. And the phrase that visibility is opportunity is absolutely right, more so now than ever before. But what's also critical now is that sorry, I thought somebody talking to me. What's also critical now is that it is about personal branding. Our whole business is now is not so much about the company that we work for. It is as much to do with our personal brands, because people will buy into you long before they buy from you. And there's a great book by a guy called Tom Peters. It's called Brand You. Certainly worth having a look at. There's another book by someone called Donald Miller, and it's called Building a Brand Story. And that's important as well, because again, it focuses on you, the individual. People will be buying you. Okay, it's about positioning, not posturing. And I say that I kind of create magnetic profiles because essentially what we want to do is we want to get our ideal clients coming directly to us without us having to go out and do any outbound stuff. So people should find us directly through our keywords, because LinkedIn, like a website, is a website. And this website comes above your normal website in a search of your name. LinkedIn will be up there straight away. You have two profiles. You have your online profile and you have your public profile. And a lot of people forget that their public profile is as powerful as is your online version. Because if people aren't online and they find a half-written profile, then they're going to see the public one and they won't then be enticed to then go and have a look at your particular profile. Okay, so what I always talk about are the 4 C's. It's curiosity, create curiosity, get to a connection, and then get to a conversation, and then get to a customer. I'm not an advocate of LinkedIn kiss chase. Okay, I don't want to be liking people's profiles forevermore and commenting on them. I want to be talking to somebody as quickly as I possibly can. Okay, and if that's on the telephone, which I call a weapon of mass discussion, it's hardly used because people are online all the time. Make it more personal. So it's digital and analog combined, and I call that the Diana principle. Okay, digital and analog. Analog being phone calls, and it's being postcards, and it's old school. What we've got to remember is that your profile is a filter system. Okay, you want it to filter out the people who are not your key clients. You want it to actually do the work for you. So anyone that gets to the bottom of your profile, they are the people that you want to be talking to. Okay, and it's the ABC, sort of principle. It's awareness, branding, and consistency. So you want to create the awareness about yourself through your branding, and you want to be consistent in your activity on LinkedIn as well. And that's everyday activity. I'm not an advocate of this just 20 minutes a day will make you a multimillionaire. No, it won't. You've got to be on LinkedIn for an hour a day, half an hour in like 15-minute chunks. The day is long enough to do quarter of an hour at a time. And if you can't find that time, then you've got to rethink how you're doing your business, because it is absolutely critical that you get it there. But the thing that is really important are keywords. Okay, and I always talk on LinkedIn about, here in the UK and probably there's something called GDPR. Okay, and for me, GDPR is growing deeper personal relationships, generating dependable prospects regularly. Okay, you've got to have a plan. Okay, you've got to have a plan with LinkedIn, and part of that is to know your numbers. How many of you look at your social selling index on a regular basis? Good. I can see Sagar is doing that. 1. I don't know how many others I can't see. Oh, 2. Okay, and that has 3, 4, 5, 7, 20. Okay. The point is that your social selling index is the barometer of where you are on LinkedIn. How many connections you've currently got, how many followers. Looking at your dashboard on a regular basis is really important as well. Now, whenever I make a change to my profile, I look at my dashboard. I look at who's viewed my profile. I look at those numbers daily, but I always take a weekly shot of my dashboard. So I've got something to work from and to. I set some KPIs, and for me, a KPI is not keep plodding indefinitely. They are goals which I work towards, which are how many clients can I get from 10 connections? How many people can I convert from a prospect to a client in a month? So I have targets. I have most wanted lists. So I create a list of the 20 or 30 people that I want to be working with in an ideal world, and I chase them. Okay, I connect with them and I make sure that I get to having the conversation with them. But as part of that planning process, you've also got to audit your current connections. So many people have 20, 30, 40 you know, sort of 1,000 possible connections within 10 miles of them. Now, 10 miles for me is quite a distance business wise. For you guys, you're talking hundreds, because I was blown away by the geography of everything when we were talking in like the breakout rooms. Just can't get my head around it. So it's just amazing. It's not England when we're all, you know, we could wave to everybody in England from my front window, almost, not quite, but you know what I mean. But you've got to audit all of your connections. So monthly I audit my connections. And by that, I look at who are my first line connections by major cities and by major disciplines. Okay. And I see if there are any gaps. I do a gap analysis every month. So I download my connections and I do a full fat download. And I also do a partial download of my messages because I get so many that I forget them. I do that weekly. So Sunday night, as I'm sitting in my gym jams after my bath, I'll sit there with my, not quite, with my slippers on and my cup of cocoa, and I'll look through my connections to see what I've got. Okay, what kind of messages I've got. Also, you need to look at your settings as well, and I'm going to cover quite a lot in this, so I do apologize if I'm going quickly. In your settings, make sure the two settings that people get wrong are like your personal URL. Make sure that is your personal URL. I don't want to see what I call prison numbers after your name. I don't want to see your company name after your, sort of proper name. I don't want to see you putting your surname into your Christian name and then putting your company name in your surname, because LinkedIn will shut you down. They don't like that. So it's about looking at your personal URL. It's about looking at people also viewed. Viewers of this profile also viewed. Turn that off. Turn that off. You don't want people going to your competitors. See in your connections, in your settings, if one of your connections actually shares your connections with the rest of the world. Don't do it, because people like me will mind them. And I'll say, I've known Naveen for 8 years. Thank you very much. I'd like to connect with one of Naveen's connections. So make sure you take those things off. Okay, so look at your followers, look at your dashboard to start with. But the main thing that people get wrong is the fact that it's a positioning document, okay, and one that should change. When you deal with websites, Google loves the fact that your website changes on a regular basis. Well, it should change on a regular basis with blogs and everything else. What you don't want to do is have a static LinkedIn profile. It's not set and forget. If you look at mine, in the banner, it says week 26 of lockdown. Are you still invisible? So every week I change that figure to 26, 27, 28. And I've got a series of banners. So when it comes to you and building your profile on sort of LinkedIn, the main thing to think about are keywords. And those keywords are generated from your skills. All of us have 3 skills that are showing, but what we should do is we should make sure that we have invented our own skill that's congruent with what we do. So I've invented a skill called LinkedIn Unlocking or Unlocker, okay? And that's my category of 1. And I came to be a LinkedIn Unlocker because I didn't want to be a LinkedIn trainer. There are too many LinkedIn trainers. 2 or 3 years ago, there were hundreds of SEO people all of a sudden. And you think, wow, who's who in this market? So I didn't want to be in the pond. And that's not arrogantly saying that I'm better than anybody else, but secretly I am. I may not be the best, but I'm certain, yes, it may not be the best, but I'm certainly in the top 1. Anyway, anyway. So I wanted to make sure that I was a category of 1, okay? And there's a great book by a guy called Joe Calloway, and it's simply called Becoming a Category of 1. And with all of this stuff about brand you, the Donald Miller stuff, the Tom Peters stuff, the Joe Calloway stuff, it is all about you as the brand. As Seth Godin said, a brand is what people say and feel about you when you are not in the room. It's it's the message that you convey, and we radiate branding. We can't help it. You know, our business cards, when we were handing them to people, our LinkedIn profile, it just says something about us straight away. And if it looks shoddy, then subconsciously we'll think that person is shoddy. End of story. So when it comes to your LinkedIn profile, sort your skills out, because, and this is the thing that people learn on my kind of mastermind, okay? Skills become keywords, become hashtags. So LinkedIn Unlocker is a skill. It's also a keyword. It's also a hashtag. And I do that deliberately so as to make sure that I'm congruent across all profiles. So my Twitter bio has exactly the same stuff in it with a slight different tweak, as does my LinkedIn. Okay, so the most important thing about your LinkedIn is that it's your story. We're all storytellers. We're all personal brand storytellers. And what you've got to realize is, and what people don't often, is that your banner is the title of your book. If your banner is the set one that's given from LinkedIn, and I've looked at a couple of your guys' profiles now, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but I will. I won't. No, I won't. Oh, go on. No, I won't. No. The point is that your banner should have something in it that is a value proposition that grabs my attention. Okay, that grabs my attention, because if the first 7 seconds, if I'm dawdling around thinking, well, what the hell does this person do? Then I'm off ski. Down the right hand side, there's people also viewed, and I'm thinking, well, these people might be more interesting. They may not, but I'm not going to hang around and read anything. So your banner is really important. Okay. And again, use some of the key, even though it's not clickable, I can never say that word, clickable, even though you can't click on it, that's better. It still is your message. Then your photograph, make sure that your photograph is a current one. I went to a networking live event just before lockdown, and I was talking to this woman, and I thought, who is she? And she was hanging around, and I realized it was the person I said I was going to meet, but her photo on her profile was like 10 years younger. And she just looked completely and utterly different. She had shorter hair, different color hair. And I just thought, wow, what a waste of time. So make sure it's you, okay? And it's current, not holding a drink or at a wedding, waving in the background. I've seen those as well. Or the arty-farty ones when people are looking up at the sky. You know, no, camera. I call it Red Riding Hood, eyes and teeth, okay? And make sure the visibility is there as well. Because a lot of the time people haven't checked their visibility. It's only there for first and second line connections. And you blow all credibility then if a third line connection or a group member looks at it. So bear that in mind as well. Check the visibility settings. Okay, you also want to be looking at your headline. So your headline is now got 220 characters. Use them. Some people say, oh, I'm still going to use the 120. Don't. Use 220. Use them all. But the formula is this. Keywords at the front, waffle in the middle, keywords at the end. And by that I mean LinkedIn Unlocker. Then it's the waffle of what LinkedIn Unlocker does, who I help, how I help them. And then the back end is keywords. The first 47 characters are the ones that LinkedIn will carry forward everywhere. So when your headline is truncated, so when you comment on a post, those 47, 48 characters are the only ones that are shown. So if yours says something like helping people to be better, it gets truncated and it says helping people to be better bees or something. Or what? Doesn't mean anything. So make sure that it says what you do. You've also got 3 websites on there that you can add. Most people only use one. Use all 3. Even though you've only got one website, use 3 different pages. So a testimonials page, a contact page. Don't have a company page. So many people have company. Go and select other, because then you get a drop-down box that allows you to put your keywords in. Now, call me old-fashioned, call me Kevin, But those keywords are the things that drive engagement on LinkedIn. Okay, they've now taken away in that area, that main box, they've now taken away your last experience, and it only shows your last education. So you know what you do? You create a school that says what you do. I've created LinkedIn Unlocking. If you go on my profile, it says convert your profile from static to magnetic. But when you click on it, I've got a phone number in there. It still takes you to my experience section. This is where I could talk forever, the about section. And this is where clarity is really needed, okay? Because it's not about you. Sadly, the about section is not about you. It stands for the following, and this is how I teach it. It means addressing business owners' underlying triggers. Addressing business owners' underlying triggers. What keeps my prospects awake at night? Okay, so it's social solving, not social selling. It's what problems do they have that I address, and the way that I do it is with a why formula, as in the word why. The W stands for what problems do they have, who are they, and where are they on their customer journey. The H stands for their hot buttons, what keeps them awake at night. People come to me all the time and say, Angus, I really want a better LinkedIn profile. No, you don't. What you want to do is you want to talk to your ideal market, to your hungry crowd. A product for everybody is a product for no one. A LinkedIn profile for everyone is a profile for no one. And change it on a regular basis. Okay, tweak it. So Y stands for what problem do they have? H is hot buttons and how do I help? And Y, and this is the cheesy one, it's utility. What is the utility of using Sagar or Naveen? What is it about you, and what's the yield of working with you? What do people expect to get when they work with you? Okay, so you've got to make sure that that goes there as well, and make sure that you've got your keywords in there. And one really simple hack to do that is go Control F and you get a search box come up. Put your keyword in that search box and it highlights where the keyword is everywhere in your LinkedIn profile. So I was working with somebody 2 weeks ago who was a branding expert, and she said, yeah, you know, I'm great, I'm a branding expert and I do this, and my LinkedIn profile is kind of really good, Angus. And I said, oh really? Okay, let's do a Control F. We did a Control F, and I think branding expert was mentioned twice. Her profile was written in such corporate jargon that it was not English. Okay, talk to you, have a glass of wine, and then talk to your phone. Tell your phone what you do. Okay, record yourself telling yourself what you do, and 9 times out of 10, that's the perfect profile to write. Just transcribe it and put it into your LinkedIn profile, and have a clear call to action. So many LinkedIn profiles don't have a clear call to action. What they have is a bit of wishy-washy, you know, if you fancy getting hold of me, do this. No, you want them to say, call me on this number now. Do you know where your children are? No, sorry, that's too far. It's too far. I have the keys to your house. Call me quickly. Have a clear call to action, because an awful lot of calls to actions are wishy-washy, okay? And you need to make sure that that's filled in properly, but change it all the time, and have a section in there that talks about who you are, because as I said before, bringing it back to what I said, people buy into you long before they buy from you. You know, no one's going to read my profile and just go, oh, he's good. Well, they will, because I am. But the point is, though, that if anyone didn't know me, they'd look back to some of my articles as well. Okay, so that Control F thing is don't share it with anybody, just us, okay? Because it's a fantastic hack, and it shows where your keywords are. The other thing I want to talk about is your experience section, because so many people forget this, okay? List your services as jobs. When you look at my profile, I've got LinkedIn surgery, I've got one-to-one. I've taken off my 6 of the best because I'm rewriting it. So I go 1, 3, 4. There should be a 2 in there somewhere. I took it off this morning, hoping to get it written for this, and I failed. But anyway, make sure that you list your services as jobs. And also, a lot of people don't know this. And again, don't tell anybody. Don't share this with anybody. Just us, okay? Promise? Everybody promise? Good. What you need to do is your experience section, when you paste your URL, your LinkedIn URL into a group, everybody thinks it comes up with their main headline. It does not. It comes up with your last job, your current post. So if you've got director, Blogs and Blogs Limited, it's not describing what you do. If you had main driver of branding corporations, whatever, if you put your keywords in there and you put your keywords into the description of your company, that's why I invented leads. I'm actually pointing to it on the screen, but I mean to be pointing here. That's, look there. No, it's here. It's here. It's here. Here. Okay. And that's another quick tip. I actually had this screen made, and it's a longer, wider screen. It looks like a brick wall, and it's just, I tell you, there's 20 people behind this screen. They're all just not saying anything. No, it's rubbish. There's not. But there's a whole office of rubbish there. Anyway, so I invented leads because it describes exactly what I do: LinkedIn education, advice, direction, support. And that's the name of my company on LinkedIn. So, and then I've got descriptors underneath that asks the question, you know, are you struggling to get LinkedIn up off the ground in 2020, you know, 2020 AD after disruption? Are you now struggling to get leads? Do you find it difficult to post, to ask questions that keep your clients awake? You know, there's so many people that write it in a wishy-washy, you know, sort of corporate school manner, as if they're being, you know, almost like it's like an exam. Who can write the most vaguest section in their profile? Recommendations. Ask for recommendations and give them willy-nilly. Okay, because if you've given someone a recommendation, it shows that you are at least involved with what they do. Now, the ideal recommendation would be something that says, having worked with person X, my business went from the ground to stratospheric. I am now retired and living on an island. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for doing this. Okay, we can't all write those, and we don't always get them, but at least acknowledge somebody's input to something. And I hope you all go in and you actually endorse me for LinkedIn Unlocker as well, please. Could you all sneakily do that? Then at least then it looks like I've got loads more endorsements. I won't say it's you lot. If you don't share those hacks, I won't tell anybody, okay? So positioning is really important, okay? So all of those things, your about section, addressing business owners, underlying triggers, these are the key areas that people normally don't look at it properly. They look at it from the wrong side. Think of it in terms of the person who's reading your profile. And again, you should be talking to and with the person, not at. And so many profiles, just it's a wall of what people have done. Hello, my name's John, and I've worked here, and I've done that, and I'm really good, and I'm bloody marvelous at everything. Really? I don't care. And I don't care that you're the director of, so in your headline, some of you have it, you have your job titles in your headline. No, you're not looking for a job. If you're running your own business, you're not looking for a job. You might be found for your entrepreneurial skill, but you're not, you know, you're not looking for a job. One area that people forget about as well is the featured area. Use that featured area, okay? And you've also now got the ability to give 10 seconds, you know, audio to how to pronounce your name. What I've done with that is I've said, Angus Grady, LinkedIn Unlocker, please do connect with me. Do you know where your children are? I didn't say that. I don't say that. I just say, please do connect with me. Okay, so it's a bit of a branding message in there. When you're prospecting, this is the other thing I want to quickly talk about. I'm not sure how long I've got, but when it comes to prospecting, you know, again, think carefully. If you've already audited your connections, most of the business that you probably want is already in your connections list. You're already connected to them. Okay, and then it's about messaging them. Now, it doesn't work as well probably for you guys, but I send postcards. I handwrite postcards. Have you seen what's been written on your LinkedIn profile? I said this one, is this the missing piece in your marketing puzzle? I use one of these. You may not have seen one of these. They're called pens. Okay, it's that way up in case anyone's holding it that way up. It doesn't work that way. You've got to hold it that way. And you put something called a stamp on it and you write. Okay, now writing is the long lost fingerprints of people. It's the people, if honestly, this piece of card opens heavier sticky doors than anything else. I also send audio messages quite a lot using my phone. Okay, 60 seconds of gold. Especially when they've got a postcard, it's a perfect chance for me to send an audio message and say, hi, have you got the postcard? And they'll say yes, and we'll start the conversation. Okay, so when it comes to prospecting, look at who you've already got and how you can message them. I don't send a PDF to people when I first connect. I normally send either a little video. So I'm Angus, please feel sorry for me and buy my services. I don't say that. And I send a PDF afterwards, which is like 6 of the best. Okay, 6 of the best things to do every day on LinkedIn. And that then gets the conversation going. And then I make sure that I carry on that conversation when I'm on there. Okay, once I've actually passed on there, you know, once I've actually had a few conversations with them. But prospecting is easy. You know, it's about tuning in. You've already got a wealth of things without having to do any searches. Who's viewed your profile, your notifications, your messages, who's recently endorsed you, who's liked something that you've written, who's commented. You can now save posts as well. So if there's a lot of your own posts that have been highly commented on, save them either offline or just hit the 3 buttons at the top, the 3 dots, and it will automatically save it for you. What I tend to do is save them offline, okay? Because I don't want LinkedIn just, you know, sort of charging me later to look at my saved items. I'm very tight with money. Seriously, I can peel an orange in my pocket. I'm very tight. The bottom line is that, you know, you need to think of ways to take it off. When you do a search online, save the top URL into a folder. Okay, and also that way round, when you look at it when you're offline, you get to see their public profiles. There's also a wonderful hack, and again, if you promise not to tell anybody, I'll tell you what it is. Okay. When you go into somebody's profile and you look at their activity, copy the whole URL and you'll see in the middle that person's name, John Smith. Okay, take that name out and put the name of the person that you want to look at in there, click return, and you'll see all of their activity, their posts and their articles will come up as one box. Then you save that URL into a file. I call it sneaky peeking. So I've got a sneaky peeking file for some people who I want to keep tabs on, but I don't want them to know that I've looked at their profile. I don't care what they've written in their profile because I can see their public profile. But this way round, I can see their activity without them knowing that I've looked at their activity. So if one of my competitors launches a service, which I think is quite good, I'll start talking about it in my own way as if it was mine. No, I'm not quite like I don't steal, but at least I'm up to speed with what's going on. Plus, when I phone a prospect, When I phone a prospect, I already know what they're doing, and they wonder how I know, because they can't see me looking at their profile. Do not do what some people advise and go into your settings and make your viewing private. Don't do that, because then you can't see who's looked at you. Okay, so sneaky is best. It's a motto that we used to have at school. And there's a Latin thing for it, which I had on my wall somewhere, but I can't find it anymore. It was great. I used to quote it all the time. And, you know, everyone would say, what does that mean? I'd say sneaky is best. But, you know, okay, so don't tell anyone that one either. Don't tell anyone. What I also tend to do is when I do a search, you've got the saved search, you've got the search alert. That only gives you the new searches. That only gives you the people who arrived new to that search, not the universe, which is why I take the URL and put it into a Chrome. I use Chrome, and I've got folders on my Chrome bar. Essentially what happens is that Chrome bar follows me everywhere. It's actually behind this screen now, waiting. No, it follows me on my iPad, my laptop, or my desktop. And it's just really handy to have. It's really handy to have. And I think that because we live in the attention economy now, okay, it's about us getting attention ahead of somebody else. And I think it's going to get quite brutal. Here in the UK, the furlough system is now coming to an end. And there's an awful lot of people, sadly, who don't have jobs any longer. So they're all starting up in small businesses. So we have our job to stay ahead of them. We've all built our own credibility, and as much as it's good for other people to be coming into our sector, it's not good for other people to be coming into our sector because then the price ratios, it's a race to the bottom, because people start competing on price, not on quality. Okay, so essentially that's kind of my quick run through in terms of content. I always say that, you know, content attracts prospects, but it's communication that builds clients. Okay, your content will attract some prospects to you because you've magnetized your profile. Okay, so you want to make sure that those people are coming to you. But to train the algorithm, I put keyword search into like the keyword box, into like the search box, and then I'll just select content. So I put LinkedIn marketing in inverted commas because I don't want LinkedIn and marketing. I want LinkedIn marketing as a phrase. And then I get all the content that talks about LinkedIn marketing. Then I'll comment on it. I also put in my key towns. And again, that's quite a useful little hack. Put in your key towns. And I'm not sure how well this one would work with you. But again, this is a killer diller one. So again, don't tell anybody this. Shh. Okay. Last one. Okay. Right. In the search bar, I put in my local phone number, which is 01296. And then that's my town code. And then I find all the people who have 01296 in their telephone or in their profile, because some people have that phone number. They put their phone number in the profile. Then I will call them and say, Naveen, good to chat. How did you get my number, Angus? And I'll say, you gave it to me. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. How do you mean? It's in your LinkedIn profile. Really? Yes. And then that's the start of a very good conversation, because they've forgotten they've got it there. And I say, well, what else could I tell you about how good your LinkedIn profile is? And then it starts the conversation. But it's a great way of finding local potential customers. And then save the URL of the search again offline so you can go back to it later. There's no more sneaky tips, by the way. So you can all go home now. It's all done. All the sneaky tips are gone. But I think as it all unfolds, you've got to think of your LinkedIn profile as a kind of prospecting, positioning, competitor intelligence, a networking tool. It's all of these things and more. It really is. It really is all of these things and more. And just the joy of kind of looking at other people's activity as well and just chipping in. I've actually started to do more video. I've also started to do more audio. I use an app on my phone called Anchor FM Radio, which is a mini podcasting tool. Because as cheesy as this sounds, I think images move, but sound travels. You can do more while you're listening to, you know, you can't watch a video while driving your car for very long, unless you're sitting on your drive, when you may as well be sitting in the house. But while you're driving, you can listen to a podcast. That's why podcasts are going bonkers. And again, okay, sneaky last tip. I've got in my about section an audio track, which is my story, because people want to hear your story. Don't tell them your story, let them listen to it. Because storytelling was an auditory thing. People got round the campfire and they heard their elders tell stories. No one ever said, round the campfire, here's a video, yeah. No, they didn't. They sat down and they listened. So a quick 1 minute summary of who you are and how you've got there. And why does it work? Because it allows people to hear and tune into your voice. Now, some people's voices are very irritable. My wife says mine is, as if, but apparently it is. Where's my dinner? I don't say that. I never say that. I tried it once, I nearly died. I honestly never got out of the house alive again. I say, can I help with the dinner, darling? So anyway, she's out, by the way. I can say anything. She's not here. Oh, she is here. Never mind. So basically, your audit, you know, sort of anything auditory, which is why that 60-second message works so well on here. And if you use a tool called Vidyard, which is a Chrome extension, you can do little videos. And I include them in, last tip, I include them in the connection request. And people just fall over. They just say, wow, I've got a connection request with a video with you talking, with a sheet behind you with some stuff written on it. And I say, well, that actually says Leeds. Anyway, so yeah. That's, I mean, I could literally go on all day. So I'm going to stop now. So in true Eurovision Song Contest fashion, that concludes the marking from Norway. And I hope that was okay.
That was awesome, Angus, and brilliant tips. And for sure, we're not going to tell it to anyone.
Tell anyone, don't tell anyone.
Don't worry. So brilliant. So now we are opening the floor for question and answer. So anybody who has questions, please feel free to type it in the chat, or if you want to voice it out,
voice it out.
There were a couple of questions which, like, I think are lost in the chat, so I'm trying to find them. In the meantime, anybody has any questions, I think they're coming. So
let me build it. Let me build the momentum till people think or put their thinking hat on. So Angus, one question from my side. What are your views on engagement pods?
No, avoid them. Avoid
Brilliant.
them. Basically, what they work for about 5 minutes, okay, and then after that you are then penalized by LinkedIn. And there's a lot of people that are selling LinkedIn pods, as in they are, I can't believe this, but they're selling pods that have 200 members, and they're selling them to people to say this is a way to get engagement. It is not. It is not.
Brilliant.
And, you know, and everyone should be commenting on 20 posts a day. Seriously, you should be doing that. You should be doing at least 20 posts a day, commenting on 20 posts, because that way round, you do the content search, you find your keywords, you find stuff that's obscure as well, and just comment on it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but more than 5 words as well. Not "this is great," which is so lame. I love this.
Or
can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. What does that mean? Nothing. 2 words should be banned on LinkedIn. One is passionate. I am passionate about what I do. And the other is awesome. What an awesome article. What does that mean?
Yes. So any more questions, guys? The floor is
Soumya has a
open.
couple of them. Soumya, do you want to, actually, I can't find you on the screen. You might as well ask. I can see.
I think I've already introduced myself to Angus earlier. I just have one, couple of questions. One is, if my business profile is different from my personal profile, how can I leverage to, get more clients onto the business side of it?
Okay, well, you've got, I presume you mean your experience page and your page, your company page, yes?
True, yes.
Right, okay, your company page should be a reflection of your about section, because in your about section, we have addressed the business owner's underlying triggers. So you've already addressed through your, so what is it about you that allows you to solve the problem that your client has? Okay, so you've already alluded to that in the about section. So your company page should ask similar questions. And then on that company page, it's the content that drives the engagement. And you've got something called community hashtags on there. So when you elect to have a community hashtag on there, when you reply as your company, but it also helps the algorithm because LinkedIn knows that leads that's commenting on something is actually me on the personal side. So it all ties back. So make sure that your company page addresses similar issues to what your personal page does, because your personal page is about you, but as I've said 4 or 5 times, it's about the problem you solve more so.
Sure. That's great. Thank you so much, Angus. I have one small query. We always get to know what we should be posting, but very few people tell what not to post, especially on LinkedIn. So if you can throw some light on that.
Okay, well, don't post anything that's contentious, political, or anything religious. Otherwise, you're out the window. I tend to think that there's a big argument now that says, LinkedIn isn't Facebook. I don't subscribe to that view. I think that if there's some personal stuff thrown in as well, then that's really useful. I think that if it's talking about the industry that you're in, that's very good. I think you're allowed to do the odd post that says, buy my stuff. Hi, I'm John. I sell widgets. Buy my widgets. They're very good. Nothing wrong with that at all. So there's not really, there are a few taboo subjects. Obviously, you don't want to be rubbishing anybody on LinkedIn.
Sure.
So just common sense. Basically, as like somebody said to me, if like that piece of content wasn't good enough to tell my mother, then don't put it on there. Don't put it on LinkedIn.
That's a good advice. Thank you so much.
If your mum goes, "Ooh, you shouldn't have done that," then you shouldn't have written it. Don't put it on there.
All right. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Amazing, amazing. So taking it forward, I would now invite the city host to talk about themselves.
Sorry, Sagar, there are a couple of more questions on the chat.
Yeah, sure. I will pull them up. So
right.
We have Amir talking. Can we get a little brief about how to hire the right way via LinkedIn?
Okay, well, job adverts on LinkedIn now, there are so many of them. I'm working with a couple of people right now, funnily enough, who are looking for particular roles. So I'm not going to job boards, I'm going into companies where the best candidate will come from. So again, if Hewlett Packard has somebody there that I think will be perfect for the job because it fits in with this company, I will go to the people tab on the company page. You get 4 boxes then, and you can put in your job spec, almost marketing director, sales director, see who comes up, and then I would approach them if geographically they are in the same area, because you can choose geography as well. And I would approach them and say, we have a position going that is X, Y, and Z. I think you might be, it kind of might be something that could be of interest to you. Now, those are passive candidates. They're not currently looking, but this is a wonderful time to find passive candidates because there's a lot of change in the air and people want change right now. They're afraid of change, clearly, because of COVID, but with a lot of high level people, they're looking to move, and groove. So that's how I would do it to start with. I wouldn't put a job up as a post. I'd also look at current jobs on there that are similar, and I'd create a job alert for those jobs that are also important. Then I will get a feed into my LinkedIn feed of those similar jobs and see who else is out there recruiting for that job. And then you know probably that that's not the job to be recruiting for, because everyone's recruiting for it. So change the job title, call it something else. Head of the world, not head of sales.
Perfect. So coming on, we have one more question from Himanshu. And his question is, what's your take on people automate their messages with some tools to their connections? Is it advisable to do so?
I would say no, every single time. Now, you've got things like Duck Soup and the old LinkedIn Helper, all of those. I use Duck Soup for one reason. I use their Boolean search strings, which are phenomenal. So if you go into the search bit of the free bit of Duck Soup, use the search thing, but no tools to automate, because 9 times out of 10, I connect with somebody and then I get a message saying, "Hi Angus, great to connect. Why don't you buy my widgets?" Or why don't you go away?
Okay.
You know, so no, automation on that, like, your sort of messaging shows two things. It shows desperation, and it shows lack of respect for the fact that LinkedIn is about growing deeper personal relationships. It's not about having a one-night stand. It's about building a relationship. At least buy them a drink first before they ask them to marry you.
Okay, so the next one we have is from Zafar Shah. What are the tips that you would give to college students looking for job or higher education opportunities?
Okay, I would make sure that you have that written in your banner that says exactly what you want to do, your contact details at the top of your about section, at the bottom of your about section. I would have the looking for work logo put on there. I would also look at the companies that you want to be working for. Again, I'm working with a couple of school leavers, Unilevers. I've just written that down. I've never ever thought about Unilever. Anyway, yes, so people that have just left university last year, and well, who aren't going back again this year because of COVID. But I've said to them, well, who is it that you want? Don't go for jobs that have already been put up there, because you're going to get tons and tens of thousands of people going for that job. Be honest with yourself. Say, who is it that you want to work for? If you want to work with Procter & Gamble, find the person in Procter & Gamble that's responsible for the department that you want to work for. And don't take any, I'm going to swear now, don't take any bullshit from the people on reception. Interrogate them. Say, I'd like to speak to the person responsible for product development well, that's Mr. Smith and he's not here. Well, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. Then you just keep going back. And again, if you are a school leaver or a job seeker, postcards, handwritten letters and postcards will win every time. If there are 20 people applying for a job, or 2,000, and I've got one postcard from one person who's, from only one of those candidates, well, who's going to be top of mind? The person who's taken the effort to send me a postcard. And they may not be the right person, but it cuts my work down by phoning them, talking to them. And if they're no good, I rip the card up. Next. Simple.
Brilliant. So anybody who has more questions, I see Himanshu is posting out questions. Himanshu, you can always reach out to Angus offline, and I'm sure he will be more than happy to help. But at this point, I would like to call it a pause and invite all the city hosts who have been working hard to put this event together, including Naveen, Syed, Prateek, and Surbi. So starting with Naveen, followed by Syed, by Prateek, and the word of thanks would be by Surbi. Taking that opportunity that I have the control right now to speak, I'm going to take myself as first one. So hello everyone, this is Sagar Mlani from Hyderabad, and I help people to find opportunities hidden in adversities. So anytime in life, if you hit an adversity, remember, just connect with me. So over to you, Naveen.
Thanks, Sagar. Thank you, Angus, and everyone for being here. So I'm from Chennai. I'm the LinkedIn local Chennai host, and we've been holding these events for last 1.5 years. This is the first time we come together to collaborate. Thanks to the lady here, Surabhi, who thought of it, and all the guys. We had a good leader, rather. So very participative leadership, and thanks so much. Especially see so many ladies here in this group, because I think they always want to learn. Like guys, they give up sometimes, but here, I mean, it's really so encouraging. Yeah. So I wish you a great week. Thanks a lot for joining today. Yeah.
Syed, Prateek.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Syed here. I'm from Guwahati, LinkedIn local Guwahati. So this is a wonderful session we are having right now, and about LinkedIn local. All the LinkedIn local chapters are always amazing, and wherever you go, you'll get the same warmth of the LinkedIn local, the connections, the networking, and that's what we look forward to having with everyone. And here goes my
Gone.
Gone.
I think he just added his LinkedIn profile.
yeah. I just did my added my LinkedIn profile, and
We lost your voice. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. So that's all about LinkedIn local Guwahati and me. See you around.
Take care.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Prateek Toshniwal, LinkedIn local host of Surat. Thank you so much, Surbi. Thank you so much, Sagar, Naveen, and Syed, because this was a great event. And thank you so much, Angus, because it was an amazing, amazing tip that you shared. We won't tell anyone. This is a secret, and yes.
Yeah, tell no one.
Like Sagar said, anyone needs any help all over the world, you can definitely get connected to all of us. We're happy to help. Thank you so much, guys.
Right. So I think we are really on time. Thank you. So I think it comes to me now. So before I start, I just wanted to, I mean, obviously, I will not be as summarized as you guys. So first of all, it all started with a chat, and I just randomly asked Angus, would you like to come to India? And of course, he was ready to pack his bags and come, but because it's COVID times, we went for the cheapest option possible. I invited him on Zoom, and he said yes. So I don't know whether I was so happy when last time somebody said yes. I was like super excited. And then I sat down and I said, oh my gosh, what have I done now? How will I do it? So, and I just asked around, and there you go, these 4 boys. I mean, like, they're like amazing. And I used to say, like, I used to message them at 1 o'clock at night. We should do this. We should have breakout rooms. We should do, and they were like all on board. So thank you so much. Can't thank enough all of you. Can't thank you, Angus. I mean, despite the confusion today.
And there was a little bit.
Yeah, so we kind of almost missed you. But there you go. But I have a feeling that we need to kind of like, join some kind of, do something and either come over to UK or like bring you over here, because this
seriously, if there's any opportunity that I could get over there, I'd be there quicker than you could say yes.
Yes. So we really need to plan something, figure out a way and get rid of Corona, of course. That is something which we really need to do. But I mean, honestly, you are a gold mine, and in 45 minutes, you've given us so many tips. I think I am really glad that we have recorded everything, but I will not make it public. Sagar, let's not make it public. Those who did not come have really missed out big time. So.
Yeah. I mean, again, I give. I always tend to give more value than I kind of start off intending to give. But then I just think it's so important, because it's like a piece of a jigsaw to get all the little bits in, and then it all works so wonderfully well together. It really does.
It is, and it was beautifully, and I kind of love your storytelling. It was not like kind of a monologue. I really loved your kind of antics, and I don't know how many people are hiding behind that board. How many bodies?
Not now.
How many bodies will I find?
Yeah.
So do show that phone which you showed to me, if you still have it handy.
Oh, I do.
It's something which was a big conversation start. How many of you recognize that? So I mean, like, you can tell age of this group right away. Those who don't recognize, I mean, like, really
I
young.
did a video. I actually did a post, which I put onto LinkedIn about last week, and it was about someone called Tarquin, who called me, and I did a video, a comedy, but a serious one, and and people have, everyone said, where did you get that phone from? I said, I used to have a phone like that, but there's some, go and have a look at that, because it is some serious content about how you should write your about section. And I give the A, B, the O, the U, and the T, and with an example.
Will definitely. I mean, if I go in your profile, I get lost because there's so many things that I really need to note down.
So just go into my latest posts. I think it's about fourth post in. And it's just a video of me on the phone with that phone. So I'm sitting there like that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to,
sound.
I wanted to say everybody can really reach out. Angus does these amazing surgery sessions. So this is like just the tip of the iceberg of Angus. There's a lot more, and
Sadly, there's more.
Yeah. Oh well. So as at least somebody understands LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'm like lost. The algorithms. Oh my gosh, they're a killer. So and of course, there's a whole sessions Angus does. And so, and also I just wanted to add, like Sagar is also a master of LinkedIn, and Naveen is the hidden guy from Chennai. He does these amazing sessions. Syed from Guwahati, he's the techie of LinkedIn. So he does the sales navigator and everything.
Oh,
so
we like sales navigator.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, no. So I'm like, wow, even I don't understand it. And Prateek knows everybody who needs LinkedIn, so he keeps inviting us to all. So we all have some kind of LinkedIn connection apart from being a LinkedIn local host and being on LinkedIn, of course. But definitely we all learn, and I hope all the participants, we are like down to 50% now. But those who you stayed till now, I hope you all got something out of today's session, and I'll be sharing with all the participants the video link. Nobody else will get it. It has to be only for the people who kind of are here. So
people
anybody,
who stayed back, Surabhi, people who stayed back also get a gift from all of us. And that gift is in the chat box for all the people who have invested their time. The gift is in the chat box. Just click the link and download it. It's free for all of you. Whatever Angus has said as tips right now, it's more or less summarized here. Take it as a tip and enjoy it.
That's brilliant. Anybody wants to just say something, because we really would like to kind of get some nice words thrown at us. Say something nice only, please. I'll let you unmute yourself, but you have to be nice. Bad things, you can send it to me one-to-one. I get that quite a lot anyways.
Yeah, so we can have some video testimonials.
Yeah, I would just like to say, Arpita Anand here, I would just like to say that just don't tell anybody, but it was a wonderful session.
We can tell that to everybody. No, we can tell.
I won't tell anybody.
But we have to, so that we make people jealous, right?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. And it was fun, interactive, and you made it very, very fun, Angus. It was nice listening to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi,
I really appreciate that.
Hi, this is Tanushree. Sorry, Surabhi, I'm walking. I can't. I may not be able to show my video. I'm all studying.
Okay.
So it was really nice, Angus. Thank you so much. It was certain tips were really engaging, and like Surabhi, I've made my notes. So thank you, Surabhi, for this session, and thank you all the LinkedIn hosts. I see them, all of them doing a great job. So I am the sneaky person. I sneak sometimes in LinkedIn local Lucknow. And I try and get all those tidbits of the wisdom. So thank you so much. It was a nice session. Thank you, Surabhi, for having me here.
Thank you. Thanks to Angus, actually.
Well, no, thank you, hosts, and especially.
I like your humor.
It's very British. That's it.
And I didn't swear once.
Yeah, well,
That's the first.
Yeah, it's all right. We can take it.
We still have a few hours for that to go to a good.
Yeah, we can go at it. anybody else wants to say something, we would like to, because we'll make some clips out of this. Sagar is like a, I don't know what to call it, a magician with videos.
With videos,
We were just talking yesterday and he made a video out of it.
Just one thing I like. There were
Yes,
so many
Vikas.
things to like. So I like the sneaky peeky part. The URL and activities trying to
Yeah, the
was
sneaky one.
something I was looking for something. If I see someone and try to think, he will get to know.
Yes.
So that was very,
Yeah.
really, really helpful for me. Thank you.
I can't wait to sneak. I think
know.
that's the one thing which I'm going to do now.
I was trying on the other part, on the other person while we are doing it.
Also research as well. You know, you kind of don't want to. You want to keep your powder dry until you need it. So do as much background as you possibly can.
Yes. So one of the things which I always say when I'm talking about LinkedIn is the spy factor is free, and you can spy like the way you want to. You're your own James Bond.
Yeah, yeah. It also helps if you've got another profile. I shouldn't be saying that, but I've
Really?
got another profile, and I won't say who it is.
Oh dear. Now I'm worried.
Yeah, but their settings are all so you can't see them.
Right.
But there's a little hack that you can do so you can still see as much of the other person as. Anyway, I'm not going to give you that one.
Yeah. No, we do. That we'll wait when you visit India.
Oh, don't even. Honestly, I've got this in my head. I've got a bag and I'd pack it and I'd be there. I'd be there.
All right, then done deal. Right. So I think we are right on time. That's what we kind of like. We did have like a 10 minutes buffer, but then unless anybody has to say something, we can wrap it up and let Angus have.
Angus, thank your family on our behalf. So they let you spend your weekend one and a half hours with us. So that's really
Well, my
great.
wife has gone out for lunch with my daughters, and
Right, okay.
she just said it's going to be cheaper for us and we can eat more. Great. Stay every Saturday. Stay at home.
Okay.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much.
Surabhi,
Yes.
so today it was actually the power of networking, LinkedIn, and today we are sitting in Lucknow. We are connected to people not only in India, but Angus sitting in UK. We are connected to him also today. So all thanks to you, Surabhi, to getting us connected to people all around the world now. We were all doing it only in Lucknow earlier, but now we are connected all across the world. This is
Pretty
beautiful.
amazing.
I try. I want to tell people there's a world out there and we also exist. The small town.
No, you made it there on the map of the world.
That's
So
right.
we are the paid fans for you.
Yeah, I paid Mohit to say this, by the way.
Don't tell it to anybody.
Sending you the check right away, don't worry. Thank you. No, I mean, you kind of envision something, but then it happens, and I was pretty stressed out, no doubt about it. But then it happened, and thanks to you guys.
It's over. It's over. It's over.
Last thing from my side. So this gives an opportunity for not only attending the sessions in the local events like Hyderabad or Lucknow specific, we can also engage our other LinkedIn partners when we are doing the events.
Yes. So this was a kind of like we tried. Of course, we invited other cities as well, but the breakout rooms were a challenge. I lost Angus as well, by the way. So Angus came and I was trying to assign another person with an A name, and it just not working the way it was. Himanshu is here, and he kept saying, I can't go in a room. And I said, yeah, getting a pop-up somewhere. We have to accept it. So Devika saw, and I kind of enabled the breakout room to kind of automatically put people in the room, but it was not working the way it should be. AI fails you. So I had to use my intelligence, which was like the lowest possible at that time because I was pretty stressed out. So I hope everybody.
It worked really well. I mean, I have been on smaller ones that have gone completely badly wrong, and it hasn't at all. So testament to all of you.
Thank you so much. That's really brilliant. So that was the idea. So Thank you so much. And I think we'll end the session now because I really need a big mug of coffee bigger than this.
Yeah.
Or something
I'm
else.
running out of
It's Saturday. No,
Right.
it's Saturday. I just realized I can go beyond coffee now. Finally.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody, and
Yes.
thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank
you,
you.
Angus.
Thank you
Really,
for spending
really
your
lovely to
Saturday.
meet you all.
Thank you,
Thank you very
everyone.
much for
Thanks.
asking.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Yes, yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I'll be the last man standing.
Now, I always forget where the leave
Goodbye.
button, the end button is. So I'm just waiting for everybody because otherwise people are just vanishing. So
Take care, guys.
well, thank you, Angus. I'll
Bye-bye.
catch up
Thank
with
you,
you.
Angus.
Thank you. Thank you, Sagar. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank you,
spent a
Surabhi.
lot
Thank
of
you,
time.
Sagar.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Now I'm
Bye-bye.
ending.
Have
Thank
fun.
you. All right.
Thank you.
You